Green and blue. Why not?
Wicked and Speed.
Yeah, I guess that works. Actually, that's kind of work. What's going on?
Yeah.
Welcome to My Cup of Tea, episode number 26, where we will be breaking down another week of multiverse madness. Joining us as always, we have Carson.
Yes, what's going on? Welcome to my very intentional, non-intentional color palette in the background. Did not plan, but planned at the same time. Anyways, another week of craziness on WandaVision. Some of our predictions kind of coming to fruition. Others things coming way faster than we kind of expected. And yeah, we still got 3 episodes left. I'm so scared. Can't wait to talk about that and some other movie news and some casting news that I'm excited about. We're living in Pedro Pascal's world, guys, and it feels great. And
also joining us, we have Evan.
You guys can see behind me my lighting is in honor of my room. Yeah,
neutral.
Pretty much it. Pretty neutral. But no, yeah, WandaVision was incredible. From the first couple of minutes, I was like, this episode's already my favorite because just before we get into it, I just love Malcolm in the Middle, so it already hooked me there. But then, yeah, this week was awesome. Like, Last of Us is probably my favorite gaming franchise of all time besides Kingdom Hearts. I love Last of Us so much. So the casting was well welcomed. Loved it. And yeah, I can't wait to get into it with you guys.
All right, on that note, we are going to be breaking down full spoiler fashion this newest episode of WandaVision, the all-new Halloween Spooktacular. These titles are amazing every day. Okay, so I figure we'll just run through everything, break things down. I don't think there was any pre-show. They just do the recap and then the Marvel intro. But yeah, they jump into it, and right away...
No. You're forgetting in the recap. They showed Age of Ultron footage in the recap,
yeah, you're right.
and I thought you'd be all over that.
Yes. To reaffirm, Aaron Taylor Johnson is still canon in the universe.
And we got a Kick-Ass mentioned, which was hilarious.
We'll get
in this show.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, the episode starts, and right away we start getting into like that modern 2000s science, and I'm like, oh, cool. But then as soon as I see the font of the credits, I'm like, oh my god,
this is incredible. I was losing it, guys. I was losing it,
dude. I also was like a big fan of Malcolm in the Middle, like forever, man. It's so good. And like the fact that like I know in like interviews they were saying like they're gonna hit that vibe. I didn't know they were literally gonna do it.
Oh, I didn't know there was like interviews. I didn't know anything going into this episode. I was like, okay, we're gonna go to them 90s, 2000s, whatever. But oh my gosh, Malcolm in the Middle. I mean, I watched that show every morning before I went to school, turn on the TV, eat breakfast while watching Malcolm in the Middle. That was my life.
I literally did that like in middle school, like before I like left for the bus. I would just watch it like on Netflix. Like,
is this still? Where can you freaking stream this? Like, I need to rewatch Malcolm in the Middle now. I have a whole new
probably a
vibe.
Hulu related.
Probably
because I think it was it's FX original property. I think
is it FX?
I think it was FX. That's where I always watched it. Was FX?
Huh. Interesting. I don't know where I watched it. My mom always turned the channel on for me. I have no idea where I watched that show. Wasn't it on Nickelodeon at the time? Or maybe
I think there was some Nick at Night stuff.
Yeah, like after a while, it got the rights or something like that. But yeah, the Malcolm stuff was what?
It had a full like block, like Monday through Friday, like all the time on FX for me.
FX is always putting out them bangers. But yeah, I had nothing going in. I just knew it was like, okay, this is going to be our. Maybe we're going to continue with the 80s or maybe we're going to go into the 90s. But right off the jump, my brother and I looked at each other. We were like, no way. Like, this is definitely Malcolm in the Middle. And I was like in tears laughing because it just nailed the aesthetic.
It's so funny where you just see like Wanda and Vision just essentially being like Hal and Lois. And then straight up, Pietro is just Francis. Pietro is Francis.
He definitely is. He's totally Francis. I was like, I kind of expected this because like last week, I was like, he's fulfilling that role, right? Like he's fulfilling that. And I guess some of the writers talked about this as well after episode 5 came out, where it's like they wanted Evan Peters to come in. They're a huge fan of Evan Peters, and he's filling that role in the show because it is a sitcom of the crazy sibling comes to the town and just messes shit up, and that's exactly what he did.
Which is exactly what Francis does all the time.
Yeah, he comes in there, beats on Malcolm or whatever, and then just leaves. The next episode goes to work for the army or whatever, this crazy farm, whatever was happening in that show.
He had development, man.
He did. Yeah. Like in the early seasons, he was crazy, but then after a while, it was like, oh, he started being more tame. But yeah, I loved it. I loved all that. Malcolm in the Middle was just my jam.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, cool. We were just vamping about Malcolm in the Middle the whole time.
I mean, I'm still going to, just because, like, right from the first scene, like, as soon as he starts narrating to the camera, I'm like, we're going all in.
Dude, and they were so good. Like, I was like, these kids actually killed it.
Really good. Yeah, right. Which one was it? Was that Billy or one of them was, I think they both started talking to the camera after a while, but I forget which one initially did it. Maybe it was Billy. I forget now.
I feel like I can identify the costume easier.
Yeah, they're twins. But yeah, when they started talking to the camera, I'm like, oh, this is just incredible. They're nailing the cinematography, the way they're talking to the camera,
the way the camera
follows
the like swipe cuts and like
exactly right.
And even like this, they even like did a Sokovian like side flashback story, like weird edit of humor. They did the whole thing. It's
oh my god, the little fish.
Yeah. Oh, poor Wanda.
And then she's like, maybe you're suppressing your trauma, and we're like, oh my god.
Like everything was like, dude, Pietro kept like addressing everything. It was insane, which we'll get to.
We'll get into that.
But
sure.
Yeah, we just we start off. It's fun aesthetic. You got Uncle Pietro just like being rather bad influence, and Wanda and Vision. Also, I called it in chat, and I was so happy that Pietro had his comic costume in the Halloween style, like Wanda and Vision. I was just like, that was my wild card guess of the episode, and I was like, that'd be cool. And then they did it, and I was like, no way. I freaked out, man.
And the fact that one of the kids was like dressed up as him, I think, or like as the.
Yeah, it was Speed. It was like, Speed didn't dress up as like his comic book, because in the comic books he has like this green kind of suit. They really didn't go for that, but
it's not like blue and gray.
Yeah, but they each have him copy. Yeah, it was really awesome. Carson's background, yes.
Wicked looked pretty accurate to like what he would wear, though. That was pretty great.
I assume they just didn't want to have like the green or a weird green T-shirt and costume. Nobody really would understand that. But yeah, Wiccan's thing was pretty awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, so then we start. So I think I didn't even like think about it, but I guess Vision was more or less like lying to Wanda in the sense like there's no neighborhood watch thing. I know they had that in like the second episode, but like he was just going to like prevail like the town to see what was up. He's still like, what's going on?
1,000%. Yeah, like I figured, I knew like this guy's lying, which is interesting by itself, right? Like he is a. We'll get into it with the whole what I think is going on with both him and Pietro, but it's like he's dead, and he's created based on Wanda's perception of Vision. That's what it seems to be, and it's like the fact that he can lie to her, even though she technically created him within this hex. I was like, it's pretty fascinating in of itself. And I was at that point, I'm like, okay, so if he tries to leave, will he still be like alive? Maybe not. I was like 50-50 on it, but then like, what we saw in the episode, it wasn't really the case. So it was very interesting that he's lying to her, that they've been having these arguments. Really like that. And
kind of Pietro just like doing random stuff in this episode. I would get like, and also just like talking to her in a certain way of just like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's like they're so lively in that moment. And then like Wanda like starts to question it, you know what I mean? And Wanda's just like even more perplexed by it. And then you kind of get snapped out of the scene. And then something like, oh, all I remember is just like blank darkness. And I know that I needed you, and just like all this like stuff. And then yeah. It's just crazy to think about though. And then just like, all those implications being played out across the town, because we actually this is probably the first episode we started seeing more of the scope of Westview, and kind of some stuff that we got hinted at earlier episodes, like, hey, I'm not at everybody's dentist appointment, and we kind of see that visually this episode, as Vision starts going around. And we finally got the scene from the trailer, right, from Agnes and Vision, which I thought was a really cool scene.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get into that because I have more questions now than answers in terms of what is Agnes, and no, it's not Mephisto. But yeah, it was interesting. We got a lot of answers this week about what exactly is going on with the Hex and with Wanda's powers. Granted, she is confused, but I think Pietro, during a lot of his like discussions with her, kind of revealed a lot about what's going on in Wanda's powers, as we'll get into.
It almost seems like when she was having the conversation, I was just like, well, okay, first off, Pietro was just like straight up like, where are you hiding all these kids before? You know, since Vision was questioning like, why aren't there any children around? And now there's suddenly a ton. And he starts like breaking down like, oh yeah, I probably just had them like sleep in the bed. And you know, it's very smart how you like kept families together and like happier.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
we're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait, how much do you know? I'm like, and it kind of feels like it's Wanda subconsciously like almost reasoning with herself in the sense because you know
exactly
like, this whole thing is like a mind hex on everybody, so like effectively it would be like talking to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to theorize last week and then guess into this week. Like people thought in terms of the children that Wanda kidnapped children. Remember that people on Twitter tried to have some Spider-Man 3 connection with missing children or whatever. I was like, I don't think it's that deep.
No.
But and it was kind of like, again, we talked about this last week. Marvel always, you got to keep it simple. You got to keep it simple. They're not going to bring in some crazy X factor to lead into Doctor Strange. Some stuff is going to lead to Doctor Strange, but I think in general, WandaVision is trying to keep it as simple as possible. That's what Marvel is known for. There's nothing super confusing with the Marvel movies or television series in general. And with this, like, it makes a lot of sense, as Pietro said. Like, you just keep the children in their beds or whatever. You just keep the children somewhere else when you're not controlling it, because she can't control every single person in this town. As we see in this episode, there's some people who just live a monotonous life or just standing still on the outskirts of town. But I think most people, I think Pietro says later on, it's like the closer you get to the center of town where the town square was, that's where Wanda has like the most control. And on the outside, she doesn't. So she wasn't really lying a couple episodes ago, or I guess last week, when she had that argument with Vision, where she said, like, you think I'm in charge of everything? You think I'm telling so-and-so to go to work or whatever? It's like, you might not be in charge of everything because your limit wanes as you get farther away. But I think the closer from the center of town, Wanda has more control. And for the children, she only brought them in because it's a Halloween episode. It's kind of like Pedro said, like, oh, you're only doing it for the bit kind of thing. It's like, yeah, it's a Halloween themed episode for the sitcom. So Wanda's going to bring in the children. They weren't necessary in the last couple episodes because they weren't necessary to her sitcom episode.
And I think you definitely got like a sense of like like the Wanda's powers expansion to like the different minds with like the further you get away, like some of them are just on like a very like minimal loop, whereas like you go even further as Vision goes and like everybody's just like frozen and paused and like they're not going to be active until like Wanda gets closer probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's very unsettling and scary.
Like...
Yeah, it was so creepy and just like there's so many moments, especially like that lady that was just like going back and forth with the clothes hanger and then just a single tear.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah,
that's what I love about the show, right? Like it's so funny. This episode is probably my funniest episode, but at the same time, it's also the darkest, right? Because we see what happened with Vision. We see what happened with that girl in the tear, and she can't move her body. So it's like, geez, like what happened with Agnes too. It's like a lot of these characters are experiencing a lot of darkness and like not enough freedom because of Wanda. But then also it's like very funny too. So man, this show has it all.
Let's talk about Agnes for a second because she says Wanda doesn't want us to leave yet. She has driven pretty much out to the barrier. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's already out there, and which is interesting. And so I'm like, how does your free will get you out there? Maybe she has some sort of resistance to it, or like, I don't know. But I still felt like she was playing a little bit coy, even though Vision did the mind thing to her. It still just felt like a little bit fake to me. Like, it felt like she was just going in with it, because she's like, oh, hey, neighbor, like, and it just felt very, and then she just like turns around. I don't know. It was really, it still was like off-putting to me, and still like didn't give me the answer that like, yeah, she was still under control, and yeah, there's not like a bigger thing at play. I don't know what you guys got totally from the scene.
There's another like intrigue later on that I noticed with just like when she goes to talk to Herb, and he's like picking up like something's up with Wanda, and he's just like, is everything okay? Do you want me to change anything? Which is like another indication of a thing, but also in that sense, like I feel like Wanda keeps hearing these people like say stuff like that are like a given of just like breaking out of the cycle, but then she doesn't really like act on them. She's just like, no, it's all right. Just like go on about your program. I don't know. It's just
which is, you can kind of sync that up with Pedro too, because he knows what's going on too. So there's a number of characters that know what's going on.
And same with like Agnes, like isn't phased with like how Tommy and Billy can do stuff, and
and then Wanda kind of like doesn't care. So a lot of these characters are losing their like control over, or Wanda's losing their control over them. But yeah, for Agnes, I'm just even more confused than ever now, because last week I was like, she's so sus, send her out of the spaceship, she's done so. And then now I'm like, in terms of Among Us, I'm like, maybe we got the imposter wrong. Maybe we ejected the wrong person. So I'm like, what's going on here with Agnes? I'm more confused than ever, because Carson, when she's talking, I kind of fell for it. I'm like, maybe she is just a normal person. But then I go back to last week and the weeks before where she's super sus and she knows.
Like she's going in and out constantly, more than the other characters. And I'm just like, I don't know.
And she was in the Malcolm in the Middle opening. Like she's like part of the family, it made it seem like. So
I thought I was gonna see like Aunt Agnes. I was like, okay.
And she's the one that literally tells Vision he's dead. Like that, we got that whole deal. Like that was finally like said to Vision out front. Like
terrifying. In that regard too, just like because like how insane would it be? Like you were just like under for so long, and then you're woken up, and the first thing you see is someone that you know is dead. Like no,
right?
Yeah, and she's like, "Am I dead?"
And then, like, I feel bad for Vision because he doesn't know what the hell's going on, and he can't remember anything. And oh my god, everything is awful.
Literally, it's so much. But like, where do we think? Well, we let's talk about some of the earlier stuff too of the S.W.O.R.D revelations and kind of the B plot of this episode, because we haven't talked about that yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're right. I keep forgetting.
Not my favorite part of these. Yeah.
I mean, I still like love the characters, but I'm just like I'm just so fascinated with the weirdness, you know.
Me too.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Inside, like, oh, we got to go here. It's like it's like when you leave. It's like when you had to leave Octo and go to Canto Bite. I love Canto Bite, but
wow.
You of all people made that reference on my channel.
I'm just saying, when you have to leave Lesson 2. Where you got Mark Hamill giving the performance of his lifetime, and then you go and you're watching Fathers. It's, sometimes.
Knee lift.
Anyways, moving on. I'm going against my own reference. Okay. But like, so we get that confirmation that, well, first we got to talk about the director dude, because he's like, just like
super sus.
Super sus. Even more sus than anybody's been so far.
I also think there's even more of a. Sorry, it's like slightly later, but I think there's even more of an implication of like, what does S.W.O.R.D want with Vision, with the fact that like Hayward's specifically tracking him.
Yeah,
and that's what I thought too. Is like, were they trying to like collect him, or like, I don't know. I kept thinking when like, because we talked about last week when I'm like, what if they could like activate Vision somehow, or they, they've been researching his body for so long. And it was just interesting that like that was like the waypoint that came up as Darcy was like looking through everything, and I'm like, what do they want with Vision? I was like kind of like thinking like, are they just trying to like get him to come out, or what are they trying to do? And so I was puzzled by that, and then of course there's just so many implications so fast, and then we get the tox screening of Monica's blood, and it's like her blood has changed twice completely. And it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the whole the whole Vision thing real quick because
Mhm.
we talked about it last week. I didn't kind of like believe you last week because you were like, oh, they were experimenting on him possibly. I'm like, maybe, maybe not. But I guess I was really wrong because it seems like, especially we got some hints in a couple of episodes prior to this that Hayward is like, we've been through some dark stuff over those 5 years. Like you don't know what we've been through. So does that go into why he was possibly needing Vision for something? Like something went wrong during that 5-year gap and they needed Vision for something? I'm
I
not
don't-
sure.
It's
Like,
so weird because
what do you get out of Vision?
I'm also curious as to like how S.W.O.R.D extracted Vision from Wakanda. Like how did like the whole course of action go from there? Because that's where he died. So I don't know.
oh, I'm sure Cap and them carried him out of there and whatnot.
Could give him proper burial, and they, dude, if that would actually be darker, just sword throw him up. That God,
they never really went into that. Would be dark, but I think I would assume like Cap and the Avengers, the surviving ones from Wakanda. Wait, did Vision's body disappear? Actually, it didn't. Never mind, I'm stupid.
No,
Anyway,
it faded to gray, like we saw in the WandaVision episode.
Yeah, so I assume Cap and the Avengers brought Vision's body back to HQ. While everybody split up during that 5-year gap, I think maybe S.W.O.R.D like was like, okay, we'll take care of the body, we'll protect it or whatever. And I guess during that time, they were experimenting on it for something. I don't want to believe it has anything to do with Ultron. I don't want to go into that kind of train of thought. It's a possibility. I don't want to say it's not. Anything's possible. It just doesn't seem like the kind of thing they don't seem super evil, right? This is our first introduction to S.W.O.R.D, so they can't come across super evil because we're going to be seeing them a lot through phase 4 and 5. So it has to be something not as evil, right?
I'm ready for director Monica Rambeau. Please and thank you.
Right.
Ooh, wow.
And that seems like a natural progression of things, but also too, it's like the director guy was so friendly in the beginning when Monica first comes back. Like
it seems like they had a relationship of like work that was positive. So
yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's the hex. I'm not sure what. Maybe something's affecting.
I don't know.
him.
I feel like I mean I don't want to like discredit any of the show, but it feels like it like enters into that generic like power dynamic of just like scared.
Like, oh, I want to read up on this in an hour. Like I don't know. I hope it's not just that because it could pretty be dumb just to be like, I'm gonna be the nemesis in this show because
we're not as powerful. They're dangerous. We have to destroy them before they get us.
Right.
There's a 1% chance she's already.
There's a 1%.
She's already absolute. Certainty.
But hey, at least we get like some good lines. We get some good lines from it of like, don't use the last 5 years to be, basically be an asshole. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
That was great.
But yeah, I think. I want to give Marvel some credit, but I'm kind of with Nathan, where it seems like he's filling that dick role of the show just to make it seem like for the audience, the people you really have to root for are Monica, Jimmy, and Kat, whatever, Darcy. Yeah.
Now I would love for them to like go around of like fleshing him out more and like show what he actually goes through to like get him into his mindset. Like that would be great. But as it is right now, it's just like. I've seen this a lot of times, and it's just an obstacle.
Right. We don't get anything from his point of view, so we don't really know what his deal is. The
only thing we do know is like we can semi-sympathize with him because he was alive during that 5 years. Maybe something bad happened, and it was a tough time for everybody. So maybe that's why he's so hardened.
Secret invasion? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's a Skrull either. Yeah, people think he's a Skrull.
No, I'm not gonna plug that into like everything we do because that's just.
I mean, we guess we don't know entirely, right? Because it's like, they even said like right at the beginning of Endgame when it's like before the time skip, basically all the governments were in disarray. Like we don't know what that did to crime and all that in the world of just like there's probably some stuff going on, and I'm sure S.W.O.R.D would have been involved in that in somehow. So
it's interesting, who knows? Like, the Avengers were still like semi-operating, or at least Natasha was like monitoring from different points of view.
Yeah. She just sit in that chair.
She held a council. She cried in her own time.
Yeah, she was doing big shit in that chair.
Cries in peanut butter sandwich. Hell yeah.
Disgusting.
I forgot you. All right, moving on.
Peanut butter is a sin against the earth. Anyways,
You don't like peanut butter? Okay.
hell no.
Do you like peanuts in general?
No.
Are you allergic?
No.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Hey, people are always like, "Are you allergic?" No, I can just not like something.
Is it a rivalry of death? Like,
Do you like jelly?
I do like jelly. My mom made me some good jelly sandwiches when I was a kid.
All right.
I'm on
fair
a weird flip side where I'm not very big on jelly, but I love peanut butter.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I'll eat peanut butter sandwiches all the time.
I gotta have some jelly. Jelly.
You gotta have both. I don't know how you can be a one.
I'm a good just
Carson,
jelly and bread.
Carson is the bridge between two worlds.
Road between worlds.
Yeah,
but yeah. So the photon thing. I guess since we're already talking about it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of want to circle back before that.
Okay.
To just
okay.
Well, because there's a couple of things. Like first off, like stuff with Vision, but also I think I'll wrap up the Quicksilver stuff. Just like their discussions. Yeah, it does feel like they're building up. Okay, so they show Pietro's corpse in the vein of like how he died, in the vein of how Age of Ultron's Quicksilver died, but it's still Evan Peters. And now my brain starts glitching, and it's like theories start crumbling. I'm worried that it's not a multiverse Quicksilver. Damn it.
But what do you mean? But the audio description said that it was Pietro from the X-Men movies. What happened, Nathan?
I still believe it. I'm worried.
What?
I mean, of course her grief is gonna see it how she experienced it.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's what
she's gonna see it like that.
I'm about to flesh it out. Just okay, Evan. Aren't you a teacher? Shouldn't you raise your hand?
Damn. Shots fired on my cup of tea today.
I want to give Nathan his attention over here.
This man was doing parent-teacher conferences in a blizzard, and you have the
exactly.
Tell him to raise his hand. Oh no!
Continue, look, man. What do you have to say?
Man, gloves are off when we do the theories here, but
I know, right? For no reason.
No, but okay. No, I was starting to flesh it out because I mean, obviously, I went through my whole theory of just like Vision was a one case thing where like she sees the corpse because like you can't resurrect like actual people. I was breaking it, but then you see, you know, Pietro's, and I don't believe that. While I do believe she is puppeteering Vision's corpse, given the fact that she physically stole it, and they confirmed that, I don't think she's puppeteering Pietro's corpse because that's just a whole nother level of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Or the kids, for that matter. I think the kids are their own thing.
I think the kids are real. Like after they confirm like stuff like altering to be new reality, like yeah, the kids are definitely real. I don't think they're going to disappear anymore. I think cool because Young Avengers, hell yeah. Okay, I don't think she's puppeteering Pietro's corpse. That's for sure. I think it probably is just a projection of trauma she's seeing. In that sense, I mean, in that sense, though, I think Vision could still be looking how she saw him, even with like a reality coding, which, you know, actually, never mind, because I think he does look like, actually, I do think Vision looks like fresh like he does before he died, because we physically see that when he leaves the bubble, he just starts like falling apart because it's just an even deeper, like, it's like everybody else that leaves is like already a living person, whereas Vision is not. So it's like a deeper thing when he's trying to like walk away, but he's still like tethered to the hex.
I mean, it could be the power source. I mean, if Wanda's or magic or whatever you want to call it, like that could be a whole deal.
And to that point, before we like get into that Vision thing, with Pietro, I still wants to believe that this is a multiverse Quicksilver, not the specific X-Men one, but a reality X-Men one that we discussed before. Because Evan, why the hell would we go as far as to get Evan Peters to play a Quicksilver and confuse the audience with him not being one? I don't want any Mephisto shit. I don't want it. Peters. Yeah. There's a lot of good actors. Evan Peters is a good actor. There's a lot of other actors you can get. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
You could, but I think getting Aaron Taylor Johnson wouldn't go along with Wanda's deteriorating mindset at this point in the series. Like I think in terms of,
but why differentiate it though?
I kind of agreed with you, Nathan, because I think at first what you were going on at first with, I think Pietro is just Wanda's memories. How do I explain this? Like messing up at this time. I think.
Yeah,
because I think Pedro just a creation from Wanda. Because last episode there was like, hey, Wanda, you had your brother. How come you never talk about him? And she's like, oh, he's far away. I think that kind of instigated in her mind, without her knowing, that she was creating Pietro from her memories of him. But it messed up because she's suffering from all this trauma that she didn't get Aaron Taylor Johnson's Pietro because she was messed up from all that emotional trauma. She got Evan Peters, not from a multiverse or anything, but just from her weird powers, like going like crazy.
Why in this episode are there like 3 explicit references when they're talking, or like, oh yeah, we must remember it differently, or like, oh, mom and dad would think this. Like, it's so like explicit.
Why do you look
that, like
different?
They have different.
She even like throws out, why do you look different? Like she still accepts that it's his brother.
She doesn't understand what she did. That's what I'm saying. Like she doesn't.
But also, she's like, oh, that's not. Evan Peters like, oh, that's not how I remember it, and like stuff like that. Of like.
Yeah, but even with like the subconsciousness of it, like why would Wanda like alter a face that she's like literally lived side by side for like 20 plus years, like
because all the trauma, because all the craziness that she's been experiencing. I don't think she's having difficulty controlling her powers. She said this last week where she's like, I don't know what's going on. Even though,
but I think in that
sense, subconsciously she does. So I think I think she made a mistake with bringing back Pietro. I think that's why they're like, okay, we want to bring Pietro in terms of showrunners. We want to bring Pietro back, but we don't want to bring Aaron Taylor Johnson because that would be like too simple of a thing. It's like we gotta clue the audience in. We gotta clue the audience in that Wanda's powers aren't fully in her control. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like,
and I think,
but the point stands for both.
I think this is not a multiverse.
There's no English.
There's no way she brought somebody from the multiverse inside. That's what I'm saying.
How do you know that's not the case?
But to your point,
Zero.
But to your point of like she's like out of control of her own powers, that would be another.
That would be like the
of like glitching it out, like from different realities.
But then that's getting, again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, you're making these too difficult. You're saying, oh, she brought a Pietro.
We'll get answers.
Why is it too difficult?
Because you expect the audience. Okay, so she brought a Pietro from a different universe, not the X-Men one, from a different one, not from the X-Men Days of Future Past one. Just a different Pietro brought in. It makes no sense. Or you can just say
it's a comic book.
We are
powers are messed up.
Three episodes away from tossing her into the multiverse of madness.
General audiences have lost all their rights years ago. They're talking about
stepping stones.
They're talking about aspect ratios on Twitter like it's the they've lost their chance to critically think about this episode.
We're not talking about the Twitter people. I'm just saying, Twitter people still think Mephisto is here or Ultron is here. Like, you guys are going too crazy, too out there.
Too crazy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What's too crazy in a realm where we spent 11 years and 23 movies on one saga of a tale?
We literally saw this episode. We saw 2 S.W.O.R.D members turn into actual clowns as a red hex of magic went over them. Anything in this universe
that goes in line with what we saw from episode 1. Things go into that universe.
Oh, the beekeeper? The beekeeper?
Yeah, he's coming back, man. He's Mephisto.
The beekeeper.
In terms of multiverse, nothing major is going to happen to probably the finale of this multiverse thing. Pietro is probably. I think
just wait, but like, does it not make sense for like this to be like a stepping stone to such things? When
it makes no sense, Nathan.
When you hear all of these Spider-Verse rumors of like Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx are back, but they're probably going to be different. Just like this is probably a different Pietro that's also a Quicksilver.
And also, what better way to introduce mutants into the world than through Wanda? Especially because now that we got the confirmation,
I'm not arguing against that.
That she's changing. She's changing people's DNA.
Yes,
she changed Monica's DNA.
Yes, she is.
I'm gonna get into that.
Changing people in Westview, most likely.
What does that have to do with the multiverse?
Everything.
Wait. Let's go back to Quicksilver specifically, though. Like, Because I feel like we're jumping farther.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway, I found it interesting.
Okay.
Interesting that Pietro called out like what happened to each other's accents. I thought that was fun.
That was cool.
But
Yeah,
also
and he's like, "What happened to yours?" And Wanda's like, "Oh shit, like what happened?"
And then the audience was like, "Oh shit, now we can't complain anymore. They've addressed it."
I mean, didn't she kind of use it when she went out and threw
She
Vision against the FBI?
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I said, French accent Hera when she's home. No, but yeah, I think it's like an instance of like she picked up like more like English speaking accent through her different jobs with Natasha in Civil War, like while they were doing all that, and then also getting used to just like living in America in general. It's just like a bounce back. I mean, what would you not just like break out into your more like angered self in your like original voice in that sense, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
But okay, yeah. So in regards to Pietro, my stance is that he's not Mephisto.
Thank God. We can all agree that. We can all agree on
we
that.
can all agree on that.
Mephisto is not showing up in the series
But
at
he
all.
said the line about the devils. I don't care.
I just thought that was a nice reference. I didn't expect that to lead anywhere. I just like the line.
I didn't think about it. I was just like, yeah, kids, rambunctious, cool.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly, and it served its purpose. Nod to the comics. Cool. Move on. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yes. God damn it! Somebody was like, somebody took the shot of like when Pietro was sleeping on the couch and like the twins are talking in the background. And he's like eyeballing them waking up. Somebody pointed out that like the veins on his forehead looked like a pitchfork, and I was like, stop!
Oh God!
No.
Stop.
You know what I was looking at in that shot?
I don't think they were saying it in the form of a theory, but
I
my
think that's
brain was like, don't.
Do you guys know what a split diopter shot is? It's when like two areas are in complete focus. Like if you look at the shot, like he's close up in focus, and then like they would cut off the shot and shoot it in the same angle at a different focal length, and so then it would look like both areas are in focus. And you blend two halves of the same frame with different focuses, and it looks like a split diopter shot. I'm like, oh my God, if they do a split diopter shot, that's cool. So I wasn't thinking about pitchforks.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
I know, right?
Split diopter.
No. Yeah, you lost.
Fast? No.
3 times fast. I'll say it's lovely.
No, it's a great shot though. I love it.
It was a great shot. Very Malcolm in the Middle-esque.
Carson, did you watch Malcolm in the Middle at
all? Casually, like not like.
Casually.
There's nothing casual about that show.
I know.
No,
yeah. I watched it. I mean,
of course,
I watched it.
He didn't finish anyway. But...
Oh, I was like 8. Okay, it was on cable.
Oh my God, me at my box TV trying to like adjust the cable cord to get the static off.
Same.
But also, it was like, my instance was like everybody has like the screw-ons. Mine didn't. It was just a loose cable with like the copper piece sticking out. I had to adjust that and prop it.
And then the dog would like run in the room and like mess up, like it would like shake the TV a little bit. You're like, God damn it, get outside.
How did we live during that? Where you had to adjust the antenna?
I don't know.
That was like some 80s shit, but
we were the last scrappy kids that grew up before.
We really were.
Technology.
And when our parents used to like rewind the VHS to record like a TV show or something, did you guys do that?
Yeah, and also like everything that like had to be plugged into those TVs. Like I don't know if you guys had your TVs in like entertainment centers or whatever they were, like a stand or whatever. But like my parents were like, "Oh, you got to plug the Wii into the back of the thing," and it's a 3-hour project to get the box TV tilted around and plug the AV.
You can't get back there. You got to like bring an extension cord or something, man. You can't.
And you're with there with the flashlight, and you're like.
Oh, don't forget, you also got to get the yellow, blue, white,
the yellow, white,
and then you mix up the yellow and the white, and the Wii's is like,
like a stinging noise, like Oh my God!
Oh,
dude, I had a box
HDMI cables.
I had a box TV in my room that had a built-in VHS tape player, like that. Like it was.
That's kind of fun.
Oh, it's so fun. Like it's so great. And then also like weekly, my mom and my sister, they would watch a Prison Break. They used my TV specifically to tape it. Like they would come and watch it live, but they're taping it. And I'm just like, they're like sitting in my room to watch it, and I'm like over here like, I have school in the morning. Schoolfield. Oh my god, it was so
I
funny.
love Prison Break. Season 1.
Great show.
I need to watch.
Went downhill after a while.
It's good for like 3 seasons. Or maybe there's only 3 seasons.
There's
I don't
4
know.
seasons, actually. 4 seasons is
Oh my
terrible.
god.
Yeah. I think they're making a 5th season. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think they're
A
like trying to
revival,
bring
I
it back.
Revival.
They tried doing a revival like 2 or 3 years ago.
I think they're trying it again. I swear I saw
How many prisons
guy
you bring out?
the guy that plays the brother.
Oh, yeah, from Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, he tweeted
They're
out.
Both on
something.
Legends, I think.
Yeah,
both
they are
are
because the one guy's in the Flash show.
Yeah, he was Captain.
He
Yeah.
shows up.
Oh my god, he's Captain Cold. I gotta watch more there.
Yeah,
But
hey, Flash. Like, he was so over the top.
that
was
voice, that's amazing. All right, look, I'm gonna break my
Where were
brain
we?
trying.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
break
even
my brain
remember.
trying to like grasp on like Pietro. I'm of firm belief he is, like we said last week, of a multiverse separate Pietro that's not specifically the designated film.
You can't even
Okay, actually,
explain it.
okay, wait. There was a great there's a great X-Men theory of just like
Mm,
I didn't explain it well last time, but I reaffirmed it this week.
okay.
Of like how like their timelines are so broken of continuity, and also the fact that like they jumped eras between like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, which is insanity. Basically it's like a thing which like basically we were explaining for like in the sense of this Pietro, which was you can have like the same like base core designation of like vagueness of events that happened, but they're all happening within their own like pocket universe. Because they're all in different decades for some reason. But you know, they still tell the story, because I'm pretty sure every time they make a reference and stuff, they're never like specifically saying like, oh, in this specific era, when we were in the Cold War. Like, no, they're just like, yeah, like facing Eric and stuff. So in that regard, it's interesting that you can like, to fix your like continuity problems, it's like, oh, whatever, it's a new universe. There's just like some through lines that mirrored, like how every universe, like Spider-Man is usually bit by a spider, stuff like that. So you could have that in the regards to like this Pietro. Could he still have had these like similar adventures? For sure, but he's like a whole new one. He's not necessarily the same exact one you pulled, but it could also still be the one you pulled from like the 80s era, from like Apocalypse, because that's when he was introduced in the WandaVision episode eras. There you go. There's not much more to say. But
yeah.
Okay, Evan, let's talk about Vision.
Real quick, I think before we get into my theory real quick, because I think my theory is going to be confirmed next week. We'll see how it happens. I think next week is Pietro's last episode, by the way. It's just a weird thing I have in my head. I think.
Oh,
I don't know.
I can see that enough, especially where I'm like going with my end game of because my end game is a big like Charles Xavier reveal of just like
I forgot that
stuff. Yeah, I feel like Pietro could definitely.
And you said who's Vision's voice actor again?
Paul Bettany. Voice actor, physical actor. He's in the makeup.
I know.
That man suffers in the makeup chair daily.
Here we go.
The one night he gets to go on Halloween with this little gem over the stone, looking.
No, literally, it was like the middle of his makeup process that I always see in the BTS. Where like, all right, you got the base paint. You don't need to add the more. We just go.
Just go in. So you said he already had scenes with Magneto, Ian McKellen.
Well, the whole season's been filmed, but I'm saying
no, like in the past, like
in the interview.
Because they had because they were both in the Da Vinci Code.
Okay.
I don't know if they specifically shared scenes, but I mean, I would guarantee they probably like went to the premiere together or something. Like they've met.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like no like credits of like Patrick Stewart and Paul Bettany like working together.
Because the Magneto one kind of shot up in my head today or during the episode.
I hear a lot of people say that. A lot of my coworkers were saying that. They were like, "I hope it's Magneto," and I'm just like,
because like she talked about her parents again this week. I'm like, to keep talking about the parents, maybe. I still don't think either of them are going to show up. But
would you want it to be Ian McKellen or Michael Fassbender?
Always Michael Fassbender, but Ian McKellen would be awesome too. Either way, I think Magneto might show up. I think like 10% chance either of them show up, but yeah, in terms of like my last minute, we can get this over with the Quicksilver thing. I just think it has mainly just to do with her memories and her powers not being in full control, which we've seen throughout the past 6 episodes. She hasn't been in full control of her powers and her memories and stuff like that. That's why she saw the bullet holes. That's the last thing she remembered from Quicksilver was him getting shot. I just think it mainly has to do with memories and powers. I don't think it has to do with.
I still think they would have gone with a completely new actor if that was the case.
Same.
Or they did. Evan Peters is a new actor. He's not Aaron
No, he's not.
He's not Aaron Johnson. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? He's not Aaron Johnson.
No. Because why in the goddamn fuck would you go and get a already existing different Fox universe same character? It's the same comic character, but you got the same actor, but it's not supposed to be the same. I mean, in the multiverse, like I'm saying, it's not the same. But like for you to say it's the stop, it's not.
Yep, I am.
Yeah, arguably to say he's not is going to be more confusing to people. I would say
because
why would you like?
Most people already after this episode, even more people are convinced that this is not a multiverse thing. I feel like.
Who?
I don't see tons of people.
I've heard.
I don't see tons of people still sticking with this multiverse thing. I don't see it. It's like you guys still think this is a multiverse?
I bet those are also the same
Come
people.
on.
I'm sure those are the same people who are like, oh yeah, I believe Tom Holland when he says Toby and Andrew aren't in the movie for sure.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they're not in the movie, but they're in the freaking movie.
But they're in the movie.
They're in the freaking movie. Yeah. Anyways, I am right. We'll see what happens next week. If I'm wrong, I should do something on camera.
Eat a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, God.
Eat a peanut, please.
No, I have to buy it. I don't want to throw up on camera, so that is not going to happen.
He goes out to the store to get a jar of peanut butter. He's like, I couldn't find the smallest jar. He gets the big, like, giant Jif jar. And it's just sitting at his house, staring in his cupboard every day, haunting him.
Oh, gosh.
Without a doubt, the most insane episode we've ever.
So yeah, we'll see what happens next week. You guys can send me your apologies in a voice form next week.
Okay.
During the podcast. I don't want any letters or anything. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Vision, right? I think Vision was our next
your Vision
topic.
theory.
Yes, he's as we can see, he's.
I mean, I guess I don't have a theory for Vision, but he's just dead, right? Like this is.
He is the tethered from us. He can't escape.
I think it's likely that he's probably just dead and exists solely through Wanda's power, which has kind of been the assumption from the start.
Similar to my theory with Quicksilver. I think like Vision is dead. I mean, in this case, Quicksilver is also dead, but she's not using his actual body. But I still think Vision is created primarily through her memories of Vision plus what she allows Vision to know. That's why he doesn't remember everything before WandaVision. He doesn't remember he's Avenger. Not because he died, but because Wanda didn't share with him those memories when she was creating him again. I just mainly think that he is a creation based on her memories and based on what she allows him to do and what she allows him to know. That's why he knows he knows he's a superhero. He knows he has superpowers. Wanda gave him that memory, but she didn't tell him about like being an Avenger or, of course, dying.
To me, it's exactly that, just like you said, but also a sense of like, as she loses control, her powers ramp up and kind of, dissociate from places. And I think that's what allows Vision to get smarter, is because, Wanda's doing so much at once, subconsciously or consciously. So that I kind of think there's an angle there with like, Vision being allowed to kind of like go off, like, and we've even seen different things like early in the season. It would be like Wanda would just like reset the scene, you know what I mean? She just like reset it, and they'd be able to like change where they were standing, and like, but now I feel like as she gets like more and more invested in things, and Pedro shows up and all these things, it's like Vision kind of can just go out, and like she's just okay with him being like, oh, I have to go do something, you know what I mean? And then it all just kind of explodes into this, the Westview just expanding, because it's
which was a great sequence of just like, not just like that, but like right from the jump, Vision is trying so hard to leave, but then he just starts like disintegrating and like falling down, and I'm just like, God damn it, they're gonna make me watch him die a third time. I will never forgive Marvel, but he started like he was persistent, and then it was like a great moment too when like Darcy was like trying to help him, and then she gets cuffed to the truck, which screw that asshole, that agent that left her. Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
What the hell? Like it's so hard to just be compassionate.
So is Darcy getting powers now? Let's go.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay. But all right. Anyway, yeah. As soon as then we start breaking into Wiccan starts developing his power set similar to his mom.
Can we just say how cool that was when he stopped his brother?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, dude, that was so cool. I can't remember what he said, but it was awesome.
Yeah, he's like, shut up.
He was using like blue, not red hex, but like blue kind of hex. Which was
I think it was.
Yeah.
It was just like a great moment where he's just like trying to tell Wanda what's going on. She's freaking out, and then Pietro is a big asshole in this moment where he's just like, it's not like your dead husband can die twice. Which
wow, yeah.
Which as soon as he said that, I was like, how dare you? But then I also remember Wanda watched him physically die twice, so it's even more horrible.
Right. And I think that's like her grief talking back to her a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. And that was like the one instance where I like stopped having fun with Pietro. I was just like, shut up.
and she knocks him over into the hay bale. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then just like in the presence of just like the whole town, it doesn't matter anymore. She's just like, I gotta save Vision. And then when she like locks on, she just like Neo the Ones everything, and it's just like super expands like all of the reality, and it starts to grow, which is crazy. I don't think did we get to see what happened to Jimmy and Monica?
No, they're just assumed to be up on the hill or wherever.
They seem to be alive and well.
Okay, yeah, because they didn't really come back to it. I thought I missed something because it feels like there's a lot of chaotic editing with this Malcolm in the Middle style show, so I was just like trying to grasp on everything. So then the expanse starts happening, and then it was interesting that Darcy was there, and that she got pulled into the hex. We didn't get to see right. We didn't get to see what happened to her, but I'm presuming, based off of my now existing theory of the hex, I think the hex is going to be the ultimate way that we start getting mutants, because Darcy was saying herself that it changed them like to like their blood to like a molecular level, like all the way down, which like your genes would be like altered and stuff, and like you start developing this type of powers and things. I don't think that necessarily is going to mean that everybody in Westview is going to be a mutant moving forward when they get out.
Exactly.
I think it'll just like how like mutants have worked in like the other properties where like it's like can be dormant in some people but awaken in others, and like through your children and stuff carry the genes and all that. And I think that would be a really fun explanation. And I think ultimately the show's going to end with like the hex boiling over, and ultimately it's just going to pop, and it's just going to like shatter across Earth to get mutants everywhere, which I think is a really smart way to do it for sure. But it also makes me wonder, when did the Fox acquisition happen? And when was WandaVision announced? Because I'm trying to think like how they could have developed such a thing.
Oh,
well, I'm being reasonable.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were going to say something else. But I mean, I don't think in terms of like, I think they would be allowed to do what they're doing right now, even before the whole Fox acquisition. I think the Fox thing made it easier. But I don't know if they're going to outright say anything regarding mutants until like maybe Doctor Strange 2. So I think they're fine in terms of like WandaVision.
Yeah, I mean, this could have just been like another thing of just like, remember when we tried in humans? Like, yeah, like we with the Terrigen and all that. This could have just been like another sense of that.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with your theory though, and 1000%. As soon as I saw it growing, I'm like, okay, this thing might be the case for how people get their superpowers or become mutants. And similar to Wanda, like Wanda, according to Marvel, already had the mutant gene. It's just that the Mind Stone unlocked it, or helped to like speed that process up. So I think in terms of the people in Westview, or after the series, possibly in the world, it's the people who already have that gene, and Wanda's power is going to help unlock it. It's not going to be
'cause
like, hey, you're automatically a mutant now. Everybody that gets
No,
touched by
yeah.
Wanda is a mutant. No.
Right.
It's like we love the theory that like the Mind Stone awakened dormant genes inside of Wanda
Yes.
herself, and that she was always like had those mutant genes in her, but now they're like amplified.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is great. Also, it was interesting because people were theorizing that the person Monica was texting was Reed Richards, but I feel like if they're going, hold on, I'm not on that anymore, Evan. Because if they're going to like, it seems like they're setting up that they're meeting this mystery person. I don't think they've cast Reed Richards already. I don't think we're getting him immediately. No way.
The movie doesn't come out till like rumored 2023, right?
3, 4, maybe. I don't
know. 4, maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised for it. They will capitalize. They will capitalize on the stylized marketing of that 4 in the year. But yeah. I don't know who she could be meeting with. But I guess we'll just see. It could be a whole new character for all we know. That was another thing. Is just like I was trying to like research like what's Darcy's powers in the comics, and I was looking up, and it said Darcy was first introduced in the film Thor 2011. I was like, oh okay. And then she was put in the comics after. So yeah, it's literally just a blank page. They can do whatever with Darcy. She may not even have powers. She may just be a person.
I saw someone tweet. They're like, I'm 100% that next week's episode is gonna parody The Office, and John Krasinski's gonna show up. I'm like, what the?
No, I literally tweeted a gif of just like S.W.O.R.D trying to remind Jimmy Woo who he is when Wanda makes everything like The Office, and it was the clip of like the actor playing Asian Jim and like looking to the camera like away from the like photograph.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I would lose it. But also how that would be another like so like mind-boggling thing. It's too far like imagine it's too far in this sense of like imagining if like they had got John Krasinski as Reed Richards, but they do an Office style and you just think like, is this Jim? And no, it's a Reed Richards. It'd be so weird.
Oh my god.
Marvel, hire me.
But
it may not be smart, but it's funny.
So did anything this episode like change or create new predictions for you guys for the end, besides the Expanse thing moving out and then exploding and causing that?
It's funny, there's so many dark undertones, but nothing that I'm grabbing onto that I'm just like, yeah, Mephisto. I don't overly care of.
Yeah, I think this episode really solidified for me. There's not going to be some third act crazy villain. This is going to be all Wanda, but also, there could be a third party kind of manipulating it or something, but I could be completely wrong. And I might be wrong. I just, in terms of some kind of major character leading from the end of WandaVision into Doctor Strange, because I just kind of in my head, I just want this to be a self-contained series that can tie into Doctor Strange, but just also
Doctor
be
Strange
pretty
is showing up, but
me too, possibly.
Would you guys like me to break down some random ass Easter eggs to like cherry pick to theory? It's like a lot of people have theorized the character of the Reaper, which I think is basically like Marvel's Grim Reaper. It's like because there was apparently like an Easter egg of his helmet in like the opening credits of the second episode, and also there's a tie to that character in Sparky the dog, in that Sparky became in the sense how he was when he dug up like the grave of the Reaper, which could also mirror like digging in Agnes's garden, like maybe she's hiding something, I don't know, weird stuff like that. Also,
that's strange. Yeah,
it's also like, do you guys find it odd that we haven't seen Agnes's husband Ralph, but we've seen everybody else? Yeah. Do you think Ralph is Mephisto? I don't know, but do you think Ralph is somebody?
Ralph could be somebody. It's not Mephisto.
What if Ralph is Director Hayward? Like on the outside. Like that would be so weird. Like, it's just like,
and that would be wow.
I'd be more understanding like why this dude's an asshole to Wanda, because it's like, he has my wife. I don't know, something like that.
I feel like he would have said it. That'd been a great part for his character, at least.
For sure.
And I feel like someone would be like, "Isn't your house in there?" Like,
Or your summer home.
But yeah, I think this episode made me even more confused than ever on Agnes because it seems like I thought she was like super like involved or maybe using Wanda for her own ends. Like remember last week we thought like maybe she's going to use like the power of the children to bring somebody she loves back to life or something crazy. I don't know if that's the case anymore. She seems pretty out of it, but she could just be lying to Vision. This show is so confusing.
Somebody was also pointing out in like random Easter egg stuff that like the behind shot of Wanda answering the door for Pietro, there's a mirror back there, and there's like this weird like blur thing that like wouldn't be in frame that kind of looks like this like grayish hand reaching out, which I don't know how much validity there is to that, but you know it seemed odd.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm moving on. But this is a great episode for sure.
Yeah, it was a great episode. I like seeing Vision, even after he was told that he was dead, still struggled to get out of there and call for help or something like that, which is pretty dark and heroic, but also frightening. I love that scene a lot. I'm like, he knows he's dead, or at least he thinks he is, given what he just got told from Agnes. But then he's still going to try and leave, and man, that was insane. So that was an interesting part of the episode. I loved that.
How do we think the next era of sitcom of 2010s is going to look? You think they're going to go like
Modern Family
handheld Zoom style?
Modern Family.
I would love to watch like that,
like where you get certain segments where you're just talking to the camera, like, Vision's really annoying me right now, and I don't really know what's going on with him. But...
And good luck, Charlie.
Well, Wiccan kept like looking at the camera like Malcolm, just like talk. But it was weird because also when he did that, Pietro like was watching him do it. Like, when there was I was like, and at first I was just like, is he being weird? But now with the fact that I know that Pietro knows everything, I'm like, wait, now there's just so many layers to it.
It's really weird. I mean, it reminded me too of like Scrubs when he was like, I wonder. And then, like, hit a thought bubble, and like even in Scrubs, like. JD, what are you doing? Stop daydreaming. Stop thinking of weird things. So that's what really came to my mind. But yeah, Modern Family seems like the last one here.
Yeah, as I know there's gonna be like another evolution, and I think that's when I just keep remembering this one shot. I didn't watch like full like beyond trailers, but there was just this like one shot where Wanda's I think's in a cul-de-sac and she's surrounded by like a lot of the townspeople, and I don't know where that's going, but she looks distressed. I don't think anybody else does, but she looks distressed, and I'm wondering like what's going to be the cause of that. And like the whole thing with the giant mind stone, I still don't know. So
we still haven't seen that. That's crazy.
That's probably going to be like in the finale. I wouldn't be surprised.
That was in the very first episode, or very first trailer. I mean,
trailer, yeah.
Wait, no, it wasn't in the trailers. I don't think. Not the
yes,
first
it was.
two.
Yeah,
I don't.
Because it was the only one I watched.
No, I watched both like trailers where they were just like really like heavy-handing the like black and white sitcom era stuff, and they didn't.
I saw
definitely in the
I
trailer.
would have remembered. It's in a trailer, but I think it's in like the third final trailer. I don't think it's in.
No,
like...
I'm going to look.
I wouldn't have watched that. Yeah, Carson, back me up here. Back me up. Here.
Okay, so what I'm going off of is the I'm going off of the Super Bowl sizzle reel of the Disney Plus shows that are first look, and the like.
Okay, definitely wasn't in that.
No, and like the official first trailer that like they're like, oh look at this, a weird couple. This is gonna be a gas, all that stuff.
Okay, I'm looking at WandaVision official trailer.
Okay, scroll through that shit.
Do you want to share screen? I don't know.
No.
Okay. No. Do not put that on me.
While he's looking that up, I also, in theory for the next episode, he kind of mentioned it, Nathan, when you said when she was looking for Vision, she kind of said like, "F it, I'm just going to show my powers in the middle of town square and expand the hex." Regardless if people saw that or not, I think we're going to get a clean slate in the next episode where I think just like in previous episodes where she kind of rewinds time or a little bit or like does a cut. I think next week people are just not going to remember at all what happened or that, that it even expanded. So, or we could get
weird how
new
like in episode 5. True.
What?
And isn't that weird how like in episode 5, like Vision was like really hung up on just like all this stuff and I don't remember anything. And then like, are you just going to change everything again? And then she has, and he's just like, seemingly
Yeah.
just playing along, I guess. And
Yeah, right now it seems like he's accepting everything. Like he knows that she's controlling everything. He
kind of like
knows that
Agnes,
she's
probably.
yeah, right. So like Agnes,
And Herb,
maybe
maybe.
a little bit like Herb. Herb still seems like he's deep in character, but just also knows her powers. But we saw that with the mailman too. Like, hey, your mother knows what
Okay,
she's
it's
doing.
in the second trailer.
The
Okay,
second trailer.
I don't think I watched that one.
So
Official trailer 2.
official trailer 2. So official trailer 1 was the just normal shit.
Yeah, it was like big into like the early.
Why did I watch official trailer 2? I guess I did.
Maybe it was like floating around on Twitter or something.
I didn't watch 3.
See the new Marvel Studios era of WandaVision streaming on.
But yeah, we're going over a little over an hour here, so let's discuss some of the other crazy Marvel. Unless you guys had other theories for WandaVision.
Wanda is apparently big into Mexican wrestlers. Vision said.
Oh yeah,
for his costume. I was like,
For
okay.
the costume.
Oh yeah.
Wanda. All right. Moving on. No, like for other like Marvel theories, I don't really have any more. But did we have other Marvel news?
We have tons.
Captain Marvel 2.
Yes.
Before that, or I guess we can, since we already talked about it, yeah, we can. It's not that long for Captain Marvel 2. They had Zal Ashton. Is that how you pronounce her name? Zal Zay?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it is, sir. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Yeah, 50 points. 10 points. We win. God damn it. No wait. What is Let me go back.
It says like is cast opposed from Brie Larson, so presumably maybe a villain character or whatnot.
That's what a lot of the sources
all the
say.
reports are.
Yeah.
Do we know what this actress has been in?
Yeah, she was in Chainsaw. Not that. What is it called? Velvet Buzzsaw. She was a main character,
which she was good in, but that movie was hot garbage.
I was about to say Carson's favorite.
I mean, it wasn't awful. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I tried defending it for a second, then I'm like, nah, it's pretty bad.
The director of Nightcrawler did Nightcrawler, and then he makes Velvet Buzzsaw. Just
Velvet Buzzsaw.
What a horrible title too. Like,
yeah, I was so excited for that. But what else was she in? Nocturnal Animals. She was in Nocturnal Animals.
Oh yes.
Are these all Gyllenhaal movies?
That's funny enough, I guess so.
Yeah, they actually are.
And Mysterio is in the MCU. It's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah, I can't remember who people were speculating she was going to be, but
yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw, Greta. Didn't see Greta. Let's see.
Greta.
Nocturnal Animals in 2016. Yeah,
she's been in some movie.
The movie Greta. Yeah,
I thought you were like. I was like Greta Gerwig. What?
No.
No.
She will be playing MCU villain Greta Gerwig.
Opposite Adam Driver, because they're always in the same shit.
Noah Baumbach's MCU film I need.
Me too.
Oh, it's just like sad heroes. It's the depressive Hawkeye run. That's like every.
Oh my god.
I'd be down. Honestly, if you got Noah Baumbach to direct an episode of Hawkeye.
That'd be awesome.
I'm here for it.
Adam just has to show up somewhere because he's always with Noah.
But yeah, it's exciting. Remind me when the release date for Captain Marvel 2 is, because it seems
July 2022.
Oh, is it really that fast? Oh my gosh! So they're gonna start shooting.
Filming
it's so fun. It's so funny because 2022 sounded so far away, but now that we're in 2021, it's like,
right?
Oh, around the corner.
Yeah,
right.
It's so funny, Nathan, because like they said, like, oh, she'll be in Captain Marvel 2 for 2022. I'm like, oh, yes, a couple years away. Like, oh, that's next year.
Nope, next year.
Wow.
I mean, the same, but in the same sense, though, are we still like a year out from Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah,
that's coming in May, right? And then July.
Doctor Strange is. I have March for Doctor Strange.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah,
moved it.
I'm just saying that.
May is 4.
I'm just
May,
saying that.
oh, that's right. They shuffled it.
And I'm just saying, like, Strange, just in the sense that, like, we're about to finish WandaVision. I'm gonna be like, God damn it, I gotta wait a full year, just like other Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But speaking of release dates, we should talk
Captain
about
Marvel
the
real
Black Widow.
quick. Sorry, November.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
November. 2022.
Okay.
Birthday.
July is Black Panther 2.
Ah.
Which I still don't know how that. turning around that fast. But
Yeah.
um,
But you're saying?
I was saying that on the Disney quarterly earnings call yesterday or today, I can't remember. What's his face? The other Bob. Chapek was saying.
Chapstick?
Bob Chapstick was saying. They're still holding out hope for exclusive theatrical for Black Widow, which makes sense.
It's all based on contract and obligations and agreement. That's why it's so firmly been for all these Marvel movies. They want to have the theatrical release because they had previous contracts. Like
and they know people will show up.
Do you think those contracts will? Do you think those contracts will be swayed to a simultaneous if Raya's does well?
I think it's apple and oranges because Raya is so different. It's like I don't know.
I feel like Disney would have to like make a leap with another like live action big franchise.
Yes, I agree. It had to do a live action.
But they don't want to risk that for sure. Like,
but there's two things with this. First of all, I think in terms of the whole Raya premiere access, I think again it has to go with like the contracts and agreements with producers, which I don't think included like the Disney Plus premiere thing. But also too, this whole like let's see if Raya does well. I don't think that matters because it's so hard to gauge in the first place. We had the same argument back in August when Mulan is coming out. We're like, okay, let's see how Mulan does. Then we'll see if Premiere Access is a success or not. Mulan comes out. Apparently, it did big numbers in the first weekend, but then a couple weeks later, we really don't really know how well it did. It's so hard to gauge. So I'm like, Riot could do gangbusters. We won't know. They could be telling us anything.
No, and it's been so vague. They don't even have the only numbers we've been getting is from like Nielsen and stuff, and like third-party people that have been like actually telling us like the demand, I guess, or something. And like, especially because Soul did so well on premium access. It's like I can't see. I hope Riot does well collectively between. Yeah, like is it like a $30 price point?
Well, I mean, like, is it too much to have, like, not publicly, but to just, like, display, like, a view counter, like, your results or something? Like,
they won't want to do that because
no streaming service is ever going to do that.
Yeah,
no, that's a lot more, like, exposure to, like, they're behind the scenes. They don't want to do it for sure.
But I just don't think they're going to use Riot to gauge how Black Widow does. I could be wrong,
and they don't need to. I would say that
they don't need to.
I would say that. Right now, the restructuring of everything that's happening with distribution, the MCU is like the safest thing right now in terms of they know that that's like one out of the 5 things that is still going to be a guaranteed hit when a sense of normalcy comes after vaccine distribution. So there's no point in, I guess, cluttering the risk for Black Widow to lead the charge on premium. And then, basically, then you're going to train people to be like, oh, you can expect it to be on Disney Plus for other Marvel movies, even though that wouldn't be the case. And then it would contradict like that they're trying to build like distinctly these Disney Plus shows on Disney Plus and then still have the big events in theaters. So I think it'd be a mix of things. It would kind of be contradicting.
Exactly. So I think in general, the ultimate decision which they have to make within the next 3 to 4 weeks is going to be either one, they get some lawyers to iron out those contracts and make the premiere access and plus a theatrical release possible. That seems like the best kind of outcome for this. Or they just delay it to July and they scoot things back a couple months again. That seems to be the only 2 options at this point because it's not going to be exclusive to Disney Plus. That's never going to happen.
Yep.
I concur.
Agreed.
Doctor, do you concur?
Well, what I really want to get into today, lastly with Marvel news, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Do we want to just talk about it, or do we want to share a screen? How do we work?
I didn't watch the trailer.
What?
We'll just talk about it then.
Wait, what?
I didn't watch it because we're like a month away from it. I already saw the last trailer. It's a limited series. I'm close enough. It's same thing with the last WandaVision trailer. I didn't need it, so I was just like, I'm fine.
Crazy.
I mean,
I was going to, and then I got home.
This is like the only they had like the Super Bowl thing. They had one trailer which was okay for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then this is it. This is trailer number 2. This is like the official trailer.
Well, see,
The
and
last
now
one
you're
was-
like hyping up. I'm just like, yeah, that one was okay, but this trailer, and I'm just like, yeah, but I could save
one was
my
great.
just for the show.
But you're missing peak Aaron Kellyman moments.
Yeah,
Which I will see in that. But I do physical episode reactions, and I must preserve myself.
But you need to watch them.
I haven't been watching any of these Snyder Cut trailer teases because the trailer's coming out Sunday. I will watch that because it's a 4-hour flick. But
fair. But yeah, this trailer. We'll just talk generally about it then. This trailer, I thought it was really strong.
Legacy of Captain
Yeah, I'm just,
Hope,
I'm really surprised by how kind of grounded in the visual style looks. It feels very like tangible, unlike some of the MCU films that sometimes
Sam
get away
Wilson,
from
the
that.
Winter Soldier.
It just looks like, and we see some first looks of this like big like futuristic city place. It looks really really cool.
Madripoor it looks like.
Yeah,
Oh.
and so that looks amazing. And then just it's just like there's just no drop in quality perceived from like moving to television. It's just so cool to see like seamless transition into this medium.
Yeah, the scope looks incredible. It just looks so cinematic and everything going on. In terms of the comic books of it all, like WandaVision is giving us a lot in terms of possible multiverse things. Not Pietro.
Yes, Pietro.
Possible multiverse and mutant things, but also I think we could get another case of mutant Easter egg tie-ins with Falcon and Winter Soldier in terms of the Weapon Plus program. Because we know
Do you think that's in the same vein as like the Weapon X program?
exactly right. So I think Thunderbolt Ross is in this show.
Oh, is he?
Right? Is he not? Is he in the show?
I can't remember.
Am I wrong?
He's in Black.
He's in
Widow.
Black Widow, but I thought he was in this show as well.
I would expect him to have a presence in She-Hulk.
Because I thought like he would be in charge in terms of the government giving the shield over to the Patriot character, which they haven't really dived into yet. But
which I'm still
he's-
shocked. I mean, I was still shocked in like WandaVision that like they're still implementing the Sokovia Accords. I was like, God damn.
I know, right? I mean, Sokovia Accord is still a thing. I mean,
Even like your biggest advocator, Iron Man, was not actually for that. He was just
and the Avengers saved the world regardless of some BS Sokovia Accords. They destroyed Thanos regardless of all that.
I did not.
But yeah, so I think the Patriot, like in terms of the Falcon Winter Soldier poster, the center of the poster is the Patriot character. And the only thing we've seen from him in the trailer so far is the same shot of him walking into that football crowd with Captain America's costume with the shield.
Right, and we know him to be the government's choice to replace Cap, not Sam.
1000%. Yeah, so he's the government's choice to replace Cap. The show is about Falcon.
Who gave them the right? Who gave them the right? Who said government property? Well, I guess like Steve was kind of government property with this experiment, but
exactly right. Steve is technically government property, which I think it's gonna be very.
I guess the mantle could be government property, but like,
yeah,
I don't want to say like, yeah, they own Steve.
I guess they'll dive into it in the show. Like,
I think, which I can't wait to see because we're gonna get a lot of Captain America backstory and really the origins of his or like the backstory of like how he was really created. Because there are different organizations in terms of like the Weapon Plus program. The people that gave Cap the serum also like are related to other things in Marvel Comics in terms of like the same people that gave Deadpool Deadpool's powers are related to the same people who gave Captain America and Logan their powers. So Weapon X, Weapon Plus program could be tied in.
Set to return to Marvel.
I know, right?
Oh my god. Also, we got some cool,
I will watch a cameo of Chris Evans in like World War II era, like running Wolverine
totally.
across battle or something.
What were you saying, Carson?
I was saying we also got some like fun little humor moments between Bucky and
loved it.
Yeah, the little I don't even know where they were. It looked like they were in like an interrogation room or like something.
Yeah,
or like a debriefing room or something, and they're just like fighting, like
they're just fighting, staring at each other, doing staring contests. I'm like, what is happening?
It's really funny.
So their banter is going to be amazing. But yeah, in terms of Patriot, this article came out a couple of days ago or weeks ago where they said this might be one of the most hardcore Marvel projects, and there was a what is it called when they're filming outside? Set photos, set images, set videos of the Patriot character like smashing his shield on somebody,
Oh my
and
god.
I'm like, yes, I didn't see this before, but
I bet
then
he doesn't know how to throw it, so he's just like, eh.
this, this one account like shared it with me. I'm like, oh wow, because when the article came up and it said like, oh, this might be one of the darkest MCU products, I'm like, oh come on. And somebody shared with me the set video of like the Patriot in this alley wearing the Captain America costume, like bashing somebody's head in with the shield. I'm like, if that's actually like somebody's face or somebody's like body, that could be very dark. So I think he's gonna be out of control. He reminds me of the character from Jessica Jones season 1, the I forget his name. No, or maybe it was season 2. The blonde guy who kept taking those pills, and it would mess with his head.
I didn't progress.
Couldn't tell you.
Crap, you guys are the best.
No, it's not because I didn't like it. I'm just an idiot that falls off shows when I lose time. Like,
yeah, but yeah, there's the H. I think either way, I think like this show is really going to dive into like the Weapon Plus program, which could also tie into mutants in a way, which is going to be really cool for Patriot. But also, yeah, I think Aaron Kellerman's character is part of this Flag Smasher organization, which in the comic books, Flag Smasher is a comic book villain of Captain America. But I guess in the show, they're making Flag Smasher an organization in which Aaron Kellerman is a part of. They're all wearing cool masks and they're beating up on Bucky, which is really cool. So I don't know what their end game is. They seem to be anarchists. Maybe possibly working with what's his name? Zemo. But also we see Zemo in a lot of scenes with Bucky, and I'm like,
yeah,
what's their
speaking of Zemo, I saw something about, I don't know if it was concept art or like something, that he was wearing a purple mask. Apparently the purple mask was an intention to like taunt them, like to mimic Thanos and taunt people.
I didn't read that somewhere, but that sounds kind of cool.
So interesting little tidbit. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I'm curious to see how that character gets developed further. I imagine it'll probably be more of a, I guess, not hero, but kind of like gray area guy, I'm assuming.
I think in terms of the villains for this series, it seems like they're trying to position Zemo as the main villain, because in the trailer he says like I got my job's not finished yet, or I got to continue on with my goal in terms of dismantling.
I'm pretty sure the whole like first announcement of the show was pitching Zemo as the primary villain.
Yeah, but then we also look at very well could be, because he's like becoming comic book Zemo with the whole. He was holding the mask, the purple mask, which is really cool. But also the Flag Smasher organization could just be either an anarchist group, or it could just be a group fighting for a just cause that they're like unsure of at the beginning. Similar to Solo. And then Patriot, I think, is going to be like the real villain by the end of this, because like he's using Captain America's suit, shield, and name, but also like is very unhinged.
Yo, that would be kind of a cool way to get like the comic book moment of like someone in a cap suit to say like Hail Hydra or something.
Wow, that would be
oh my god,
that would break the internet.
Well, okay, but no, Steve already did an Endgame. Never mind. We're fine. I don't need it.
Oh, true. Yeah, damn it. You're right.
I already got it. I already freaked out with an audience 7 times. I'm good.
Exactly.
Overall, I think Falcon Winter Soldier looks really badass. I can't wait for this show. And we're only going to have 1 week before, or 1 week gap, because
between
WandaVision end on the 9th of March, and then we get the 12th, which is nothing, and then 19th is Falcon.
And I think there's also like a similar gap between Falcon Winter Soldier and Loki.
Yep, there is.
Yeah, we still don't know when Loki is officially coming out, right? It just says May.
I think so.
Or
probably early May, right? Because
I think a week after Black Widow, if it sticks to that date.
Yeah.
Also, did you
say that's so much content?
Just looking in chat, like one Marvel thing. Did you say it was rumored that like the villain of Spider-Verse 2 would be the Spot?
Oh, I did see that. I did say that. Yes, I did. I thought you meant like in our like public chat here. But yeah. So I think either Illuminati or the Charlie Murphy guy on Twitter, I forget his name. Somebody did say like, the Spot is rumored to be a villain in Into the Spider-Verse 2, which is awesome. I think he's a great character.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have like my biggest knowledge is from like the '90s animated series,
Same.
which I never expected like that character would like spawn so much, like where like a Goblin would have like the portal machine, and then that was all like intricate with like where's Mary Jane and stuff, and I was like, Jesus, all from the spot. Like, but yeah, it's like there's like such an iconic image of like in comics where Spider-Man will like punch like one of the holes in his chest, and then it comes like right out of Spot's face into Spidey's face. Like, it's like you can have like a lot of fun with this character, especially
in Spider-Verse animation.
And then yeah, in that animation too. Jesus, like, oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait.
At first, like I just read Spider-Verse 2, but like my brain has been on the live action Spider-Verse, so I was like,
that's what I thought too. I like kind of dismissed it because I'm like, oh, another rumor for this movie. Great.
Also, I would love to see live action Spot, like crazy Doctor Strange visuals with the.
I mean, they did Magneto super well in Far From Home, so they could do Spot really cool in live action.
Magneto.
Or you know what I meant?
Mysterio.
They all sound the same.
It's all Marvel.
It's all Marvel.
It's all Marvel.
It's all Wanda.
All roads lead back to me.
It's all Wanda. All right.
But okay, the best news of the week though is
we're hour 26 minutes in. We're all just getting.
I know, right? I wanted to get the Marvel
right.
stuff out. I didn't want to jump back and forth between Marvel and gaming and stuff, but yeah,
True.
we are here.
All right. Would you like to take it away, Evan? Your bread and butter.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much. Pedro Pascal has been cast
in The Mandalorian season 3.
Exactly right. Yeah, he's still on Mando. He hasn't quit the job. He didn't get.
He hasn't been fired. What?
Yeah.
Pedro
what?
Pascal to play Cara Dune in season 3.
Whoa! No,
I'm not doing hyperspace. I'm not.
Pedro Pascal is going to play Joel Miller in the Last of Us TV series, co-written by Neil Druckmann, directed by Craig Mazin from Chernobyl. Fantastic casting.
But also, before we heard about that, the first casting we got was for Ellie.
For Ellie, Bella Ramsey, I think is her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who plays in Game of Thrones? She played
Lady Mormont.
Lady Mormont. Yeah.
Yeah. Lady Mormont and Oberyn Martell. Joel and Ellie.
And it was so great because like we heard like that casting first and we were like, oh, that would be really cool. And then like instantly Neil comes in just like, yes. We're like, oh, and then like
wait.
And then they reported Pedro and it was like, no way. And then Neil's like,
and
yes!
he comes out, welcome to the crew, and we're like, okay.
That day, what was it? Wednesday was insane because earlier in the day it was Mahershala Ali. And
yeah, and the same day I was just like, oh, that would be cool. I'm excited to see what people would say to that. And then well, not really because the internet sucks. But
yeah.
Then like it progressed and it was like Pedro, and I was like, Pedro? Yes.
Yeah, that was.
And no one's ever fan cast him, at least not that I've seen, which makes it so cool because it's like the less obvious choice. And then when you hear it, you see it, then you just put the two dots together and you're like, wait, this could totally work.
This man is in so many franchises now. This is amazing. I
know. And it makes me want I don't know how far I am through the first game. But I'm making my way through the first game and I already have the second game bought and I was hoping to play it on my PS5, but Evan's telling me there's not even a PlayStation 5 upgrade for the Last of Us 2.
Play it. Don't deter me. Don't let me deter you from playing the fucking game. Play the damn game. It's a great game.
I will. Anyways, so yeah, it makes me excited to play through the games and learn the story more and
check out me and Evan's 3-hour review of Last of Us.
Yeah, and finally watch the 3-hour review that you guys did. And so is it confirmed to be like a game a season for this, or do we know the pacing of how it's going to be? Nothing at all. Okay.
Nothing at all. I don't know why I went to this long there. But, we don't know anything, but I think just in terms of it being a TV series, that they are going to not just do a paint by numbers retelling of the game. I think they're going to fill in a lot of the stuff that we didn't see in the game and some stuff in between 1 and 2. But just we can get some more flashbacks, just additional scenes.
Which I think it's good for a TV show to do that because you want to differentiate it from the mediums, because they're different mediums, and so you want to use it to the strengths of each medium to fill in stuff and tell it a certain way.
And I feel like, and I won't get into spoilers, but I feel like you could definitely like flesh out way more with like Joel pre-apocalypse with his original daughter. And
man,
for stuff like that.
Oh, pain.
Oh,
yeah,
pain.
Pain.
Yeah. And it's also,
Nathan, you're actually so right. Oh my god.
And I remember like I was I wouldn't say I might say I was speedrunning because I was trying to get ready for Last of Us Part 2. I played the game for the first time, and I was like going through pretty fast. I feel like I progressed the story like pretty fast in comparison to Part 2. Part 2 is long, dude. It's like 40-50 hours of gameplay.
Not that long, but
40. 35. I don't it was a lot.
29.
Like it went. Okay, yeah, I would say 30. Like that makes more sense because I feel like other games are more like 9 to 10. But yeah, that was like 30, and it went for a while, dude. It took me a while to finish it. And the whole time I was just like, I'm here for story. I don't need to grab side things. Just story, but clickers, whatever. Story. I'm here for the story.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I loved it so much. And I feel like you could probably get a couple seasons alone out of like the second game for sure.
Oh, easily, right? Yeah, because I think a lot of people are theorizing, season 1 is going to be Last of Us, and season 2 is going to be Last of Us Part 2. But I think they're going to add.
They'll double that. I better go 4 seasons.
Yeah, you can do a lot, and oh my gosh, when they cast Sarah for the series, that's going to break my heart. I wonder if
will we get a Last of Us 3 game?
I really hope so. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm super happy for Pedro Pascal. I think he's perfect for Joel. There's a lot of great vulnerable scenes with Joel in the first game that I think he's really going to nail. And of course, specifically the prologue. But
Evan, I don't know if you get this, but like every time I look at Joel, like pre-intro to the game and then post-apocalypse, like does it look like the same person? Like I feel like
it looks a bit different. Yeah,
I'm like, is the nose even? I don't.
Oh my god,
face kind of looks a bit bigger.
Yeah, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, the beard, sure, but like I just feel like it's a different dude.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, the beard really changes everything.
No, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
Oh, it just reminded me where I'm stuck in the game right now.
Oh, where are you at, buddy? Where you at?
I don't. Okay, so. Okay, I just left.
Play. I can finish the game for you.
I just left.
Put on the chair
Okay,
play.
so we got the car from that dude,
Bill.
and then we
that's
stupidly went down the highway and then tried to like go through the middle of the city instead of going the normal way, and we ran into those people. Yeah. And then so now we're trying to like escape there, but I'm like in one of their compounds right now, and for some reason I ran into their compound with like there's like 3 levels, and it's like this big side building. I don't know what it is.
Library?
I feel like you're like what? I feel like you're one.
Yeah, it looks like a library.
Oh, bookstore. I mean, not a library.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck there.
It sounds like like a sixth of the way through. I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I'm not that far.
You're close to halfway through. But yeah, Pittsburgh and that bookstore level is my favorite because it is 2 levels actually.
Yeah, 2 big levels. It's just
the
wide.
The ground floor is wide. I always go kill the people in the front. Go on the left hand side. It's pretty simpler that way.
I didn't know there was gonna be people. Like I just like I was going stealth like through there, and then someone like outside saw me, so I ran in and ran up the stairs, and so I'm all the way in the corner, and they're coming from 3 different sides, the stairs, and then the 2 top entrances. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I have 4 bullets. Like,
do you have a smoke bomb, by the way?
Yeah, I do.
When in doubt, throw a smoke bomb at. You're going to have to know where the exit point is. It's on the second level. It's towards the middle of the second level, towards the back. Throw a smoke bomb, run outside. Only 1 or 2 characters will follow you, and they have to walk in a straight line, and you can take care of them. That's what I usually do.
What difficulty are you playing on, Carson?
Yeah, what are you on?
I think easy or normal.
Then they can't kill you, but you're fine.
I play on easy just because, like, I play on easy on all games just because I'm mainly there for story. I'm not a gamer. But it's funny because I was telling Evan one time, I was just like, because like you would have to like craft like these custom like these like screw bombs or whatever they are. These
Oh, it's so annoying. The shanks or whatever.
But it's funny. Like But it's funny. I was just like, I like came across like five of them throughout the game, just like chilling on their own. Evan was like, "What difficulty are you on?"
Dude, and you know what? Like, I started. It's like I found a bow and arrow, and it's like the least reliable weapon. Like, it's just
What?
horrible.
The least reliable weapon.
Maybe I'm just
Dude,
bad with it.
It's the best weapon.
Dude, especially in the second game, it's so good for stealth when you're just trying to like get through like a big complex of people.
Completely. I think it is stronger. They nerfed it in the second game.
Okay.
Did they?
Because in the first one, if you use your arrow once and get like a back hit, you can kind of down them in one shot. For the second game, you can't get like a one hit KO with a bow and arrow. You have to,
In the second game, Evan, remember that like point where like you're like sneaking through like this like point in the neighborhood? I think it's like before Tommy finds you, or like before you're looking for Tommy, but before
exactly your friend, the Asian guy, comes.
yeah, what's his name? Damn it, I feel like an asshole. We forgot the Asian guy.
Wow, I played Last of Us 2 twice. I should know this.
He's so great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, but yeah, there's like that point where like you're trying to like traverse through like these like multiple houses at a point, and like there's even like dogs around, and like you're like sneaking through grass and stuff.
I hate that level.
Dude, I like that level a lot, but like
it's too hard. I love it, but
it's funny because I'm on easy, but like I restarted myself like 30 times because I wanted to like get the precise takeouts so I could progress like smoothly because I didn't want to just like mindlessly fight. So I was just like, oh, go back, and every time I would every time I'm like, okay, hop in this house, grab a bottle to throw later.
That was me in the first game. Okay, you know that point where it's like it's really like one of the first scenes in the game. I can't remember what it is. It's
I think I know what you're talking. Like, is it your first like encounter with a clicker?
No, I think it's either before or after, right before that, right after that, where you have to like it's like this big open space where all the guards are standing there, and you have to run and like throw bricks to like distract them to make them go like completely to the other side, and it's just like it took me so long to get through this one place because it's in the dark too, of course, and it's like it's horrible.
I remember the first like clicker encounter in like that abandoned house freaked me out because I didn't know how to play against them yet, so I'm just like constantly like getting chased or like dying, and I'm freaking out because like for some reason I was playing in the dark. I was just like, no, it's spooky, get away. Like it is like it could be any game I'll play, and then something's chasing me. I'm like, oh no, like I have like that fear that I'm actually being chased.
Yeah. I became a clicker pro by like the 10th time I played Last of Us 1. Like I never used
cocky,
like,
dude. I would get cocky where I was just like, all right, I'm speed run sneaking. Like,
okay, wait, you don't use the shivs? What do you use?
Never. I usually use a brick. A brick. If you throw a brick, it like staggers them. Then
staggers them.
Then I shoot them. I either shoot them with a shotgun, or you can smash their heads in with the brick.
I think I was watching Evan stream the game once, and he was saying like, "Yeah, the best weapon in the game, the brick." Like,
the brick's the best weapon in the game. Like whenever I played on grounded mode, which like I hardly use any weapon until the very end of the game, I always just used a brick or a bottle or my bow and arrow. That's all I really need. And the shotgun.
I try to throw a brick at them, right, and then by the time I run over to them, then they just freak out at me because they're done like staggering from the brick.
You have to have like a melee weapon. Usually, I'm comfortable with like a stick. Always carry with you a melee weapon. Even on grounded mode, they give you plenty of chances to find like a bat, a crowbar, or a stick of some kind to use. Or a brick. Always use a brick.
Anyways, that was a sidebar.
Yeah, so sidebar, but I'm super excited for this TV series. Probably my most anticipated show in a very long time. I mean, it was before this. I was super hyped for the Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix series with Mike and Brian, but since they left, I'm not really excited for that project anymore. Like this is my project. Neil is writing the game, and I love Neil. I know people give him shit for Last of Us Part 2, but I love what he did with the game. Him and Haley Gross wrote a fantastic story for Last of Us Part 2. So in general, I'm excited for the next casting announcements. Like,
do you think it's going to come out in 2022?
Definitely, it's confirmed. Yeah. So they'll probably start filming by the end of this year, middle or end of this year. But I'm excited. Who's going to play Tess from Last of Us 1? We have Tess, Billy, Tommy. People want Oscar Isaac to play Tommy. That would be awesome.
I like that.
That would be incredible.
Because like right now, it seems like we're going for like a more Hispanic.
I don't think I've met Tommy yet. Is this the person, the brother?
Yeah, you
or
have
whatever?
the brother.
Oh, I have. Okay, yeah.
In the prologue.
Oh, the prologue. Yeah.
I do not remember the layout of the first game. It's because I spent so long on the second game. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I can tell you the game minute by minute.
Like every day, I'm just like Seattle again. No.
Yeah, I can tell you that game. Last of Us 1, minute by minute, detail by detail,
you
molecule
were
by
breaking
molecule.
down like we're gonna go here. We're almost at the Capitol. You felt like so leisure, and I was just like, like another obstacle check.
And we're like the Capitol, and it's just like literally in the distance.
Last of Us 1 probably like my most played.
You go through like 50 minutes of gameplay, and then you get on a rooftop like, there it is in the distance.
There it is.
In the another 2 miles.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. It was funny, like at a point I felt like I was just like, oh god, I feel like the gameplay is so repetitive. But then I say that and then I was like, I felt addictive to play it again. I was just like, because I felt I was in such a rhythm. It's just like, all right, here's more Last of Us. I can't get enough.
So wait, Evan, sorry, we're on a video game sidebar. I'm just gonna embrace it. So are you playing Ghosts finally?
I am playing Ghosts. I'm on hard mode and I keep dying.
Dude, it's so fun.
Not far at all. I just started the game, so I did the prologue and then I did like the first mission and that's it.
Did you get to the beautiful title sequence?
Loved it. Yeah, I'm like 5-10 minutes after the title sequence.
It's very like
nice.
It's very like Rockstar in the sense of like you get to like go to different points. I wasn't expecting it to be open world like that. Which to that point, I think I prefer this over Red Dead just in terms of like its nature and aesthetic. It's already giving me what I would do in Red Dead, but in a samurai setting.
Dude, it's so fun. Wait until you get into the combat and you really start to figure out like blocking.
No, it's funny because
that's my thing, right?
It's funny. Yeah. I just started unlocking like the what is it? I just got the bow and arrow, but like I already did. I went to this one dude who was a storyteller who was telling me about the samurai Ghost of Tsushima, and like it was literally like the 4 different types of samurai, and I already got to play like all the different types of skills that you can unlock in their weapons.
Oh yeah, the legends, whatever.
Yeah, and then they were like, pick who you want to be, and I was like, oh okay. I want to get back to my main story. So that like I stepped out of that. You have a choice to step out of that. Which I did because I was like, thank God, I didn't want to just like go to like another sidebar story. Like my uncle on the beach, I gotta go. Like,
yeah, I got places to be. It's a really great game. Story wise, it's great too. You start getting invested in the story more and more, and it's actually a really interesting and well written story. And I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on the ending because it does a thing that I'd be curious what you guys think about it.
Interesting. I mean, I'm loving the story right now. I put on my Japanese voice actors with English subtitles, so it's like I'm playing an anime, which is really awesome.
I am playing in English, but
I did.
I heard the opening first.
I'm playing in English in color with English subtitles, but then I will be playing Japanese with English subtitles when I replay on Kurosawa mode.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I might do that for my open world. Like,
yeah, and now that I'm done too, like, I'm done with the main story, but there's still so much to do. Like, I can go around and just like beat up camps of Mongols and like reclaim little parts of the map because that's what you do after you beat the game. Is you try to,
Yeah, I didn't know the map was so big.
Oh, it's massive.
It's an island.
It's Japan, right? I thought we were in England. I was shocked.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we got to ride up the coast," and you just go forever. All right, here we go.
I had a fast travel option. Like that's how big it is.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's great. And have you gotten into picture mode yet? Oh,
yes.
I can tell you.
I love that the environment still.
I'm not a picture kind of guy.
All right, fair enough. But it's fun.
Japan, Evan.
Yes. Dude, you can change the weather. You can change like focal length of your camera.
One of my favorite things I didn't realize was a thing. Like I went to this river and I wrote a haiku. And I was just like, "You can do that!" And then they gave me a headband based on my haiku, and I was like, "What? This is amazing!"
Dude, it's so fun.
I'm a samurai.
You're gonna love the story.
Oh, dude, I am loving it a lot. But okay, back to just we gotta wrap up. Do you guys have anything you want to review? Because
I didn't see any movies this week. No,
I did.
I
For
I'm
once.
seeing. Oh, cool. I'm seeing Judas tomorrow. There's a couple of 2021 movies I want to see, like on my Netflix queue. Apparently, Penguin's Bloom is a pretty all right. With the guy from Walking Dead, what's his name? Andrew Lincoln.
Oh.
You talked
there's
about
this-
Malcolm and Marie, right?
we
You
talked
talked
about
about
that
it last week?
too. Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw it after that.
Oh, sidebar. Andrew Lincoln, my one of my only other Reed Richard fan casts other than John Krasinski. I thought it would have been cool.
Yeah, he would be really cool. But I need to see that. There's like this movie called Space Sweepers, which is a South Korean movie.
Ooh, I've heard. Yeah, I've seen it.
What else do I need to watch? That might be it. But yeah, I haven't seen anything this week.
Yeah, I saw. Well, I saw Lord. I talk about my Lord of the Rings experience because it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I was smiling the whole time. Like it was just amazing to like see it in the theater, man. And dude, when they started running from the Balrog, and the music kicks in, just like I forgot how good that damn theme is. Like it's just so yes. And I'm like, I wrote it in my little letterbox like rewatch review. I'm like, you know what? This might be my desert island movie. Like this is just everything I would ever want in a movie. Like it's that good. Like it's so pitch perfect for me. Like, oh my god! And everybody's phenomenal. Like every actor just gives it like absolutely their all. And I love every second of this franchise. And I'm hopefully gonna get to Return of the King this weekend, maybe if it's not too like frigid.
About Two Towers.
I was yeah. Well, hold on.
I want to, but I don't want to be at the theater for like 8 hours because Return of the King's 3 hours and 20 minutes.
You're scared. No. No. See. What I wanted to do was do a double feature, but then like I got my work schedule and they were just like, "Ha!" And I was like, "Damn it!" But then but I got worried at first because like the way they had things listed was the last 2 days, which was my actual days off, they were both showing only 2 towers, and I was like, why the hell would you do this? Like
did they change it?
Yeah, they did, but before it was set
good.
up where like you could watch Return of the King and then 2 towers, and I was like, I will never. I can't do that.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So but they actually did update it, and I was like, thank God. I immediately bought tickets to that. So
but oh my god, the transfer of the 4K like restoration is so like the thing you said about it, like just looking like a 2021 movie, but also just like retaining like that Lord of the Rings, like it's timeless. Like it literally had, even like the effects and stuff like really haven't aged for me that much, and it's incredible. Like even with like the slight looks we get of Gollum in that movie, like it's incredible how good all that stuff looks. So I just love Lord of the Rings. I'm so glad I got to see it in theaters because I've only seen the Hobbit movies in theaters. So
same. It's a bucket list thing for sure, and I'm excited to report back both 2 Towers and Return of the King next week.
Yeah, I was like, I remember like I was like probably 5 or 6 years old, like watching Fellowship of the Ring. I remember the first scene of Fellowship of the Ring on my friend's like chunky desktop computer. Like it was like back when like you first could get a disk drive for your like home computer, and we popped it. This is like you know, a couple years after the trilogy came, or like 2 years, probably like 2005. You know, when DVDs finally like got released, because back then like DVDs, it would take like a year after the movie to get like released, which was crazy. But so like I remember just watching it on this tiny little screen, and to go all the way up from like a tiny like 1999 Windows desktop watching it, and then to an IMAX screen in 20 years later is just like mind blowing to me. Yeah. And I hope they do this screening kind of thing when theaters open up again fully for everybody to go to, either now or for the 25th anniversary in a couple years. I really hope they do that.
Yeah.
Have they done? Oh yeah, continue.
I remember like the only other time for like a re-release, they did a marathon in a day of the 3 Lord of the Rings films. I think they were the extended editions too. In like
someone said it was 2 or 3 years ago that they did something.
No, when I saw it, like that was back in like 2012. I think it
Oh,
probably
wow.
was like it was probably like gearing up because that was the same year the first Hobbit was coming out, so it was probably
Oh,
like a gear
okay.
up for that. That makes more sense. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like I was like too young. Like 2012 was like the first year I was like finally starting to go to movies on my own, but also I didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't really
Right.
survive a whole marathon on my own. Normally, I would go like I went to the Star Wars marathon of 1 through 7 with my dad because like I was like I can't just operate by myself. I don't have the
Yeah.
finances to live like on concessions. So yeah, it's like well, I remember like that came and went, and like I missed it, and I was like, "Dang, that sucks." But like the fact that they're like here now is phenomenal. But it also
Yeah.
sucks because I also see people in like IMAX's Twitter replies being like, "Why would you do this while my theater's closed? I hate you." And that's
Yeah.
fair. Uh,
Tragic.
it is.
But
Yeah,
it
there's
is on
probably only
Peacock.
there was only probably 10 people in my theater, and they're like the nice thing about the IMAX theaters is like there's 200 seats in there or whatever, so everyone's like literally
Yes.
spread out.
It's
And
really
dude,
good blocking.
I got like my first like this guy was like laughing at all the jokes, like it was the first time he seen it. I'm like, dude, I love this. Like he was having the time of his life. I'm like,
Dude,
honestly,
I miss this.
it's so nice seeing like parents bring their children to come see it. It looks so nice to just like see that like sharing of something. I do
Yeah.
kind of wonder how much a child of that age will retain this 3-hour movie.
But even as a kid, like I wasn't even so much invested in the story as I was just like, this crazy Sauron guy, just like this with a ring, and then there's like lava, and then like, there's just like a crazy, unique visual experience. You're just like, I don't know what this is, but I inject it into my eyeballs.
Oh yeah, that was literally like my mom was showing me them, and I was like so captivated, and that's why I wanted to like go see The Hobbit immediately. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so high on this world.
Right?
And then you see The Hobbit, and you're like, oof.
No, I was a child.
I need
so
to
I loved
rewatch those movies.
Do you though?
Desolation of
Yeah.
Smaug, bop.
It's
So-
good.
I haven't
That one's
seen
good.
I haven't seen Battle of the Five Armies since I distinctly remember going to an IMAX theater to watch Battle of the Five Armies, or the last one, which was like
Well,
what,
you say you haven't, but
2014?
you have.
I haven't rewatched it in 5
Oh, you
years. or
rewatched
whatever.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Battle of the Five Armies twice.
Wow. Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, the
Okay.
first time was because I was like, hell yeah, like we're gonna finish this trilogy. And I watched it, I was like, it kind of dragged a bit. But then there was another day. I was going to see a movie, like my mom and my sister were going to see a movie separately when I was going to, and I wanted to see, I think this random movie like The Gambler or something.
Oh, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. But Carson. But, yeah, I was it was also rated R, and I was not of age, so I was like probably can't. But then I was like, you know what? I want to see the Force Awakens teaser again in IMAX. And then
That's quite the
You're
sacrifice.
insane.
I love it.
pretty good incentive. But then also I was just like, I like Middle Earth, and I'll say goodbye to it one final time. But now I'm
yeah.
in 2021, baby. So.
I need to give those movies a second look.
Yeah, you do. Rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Evan. Like you
I'm gonna fall
trust me, like-
asleep. I'm gonna fall asleep.
No, dude. That movie, the Fellowship flew. Like it felt like a hour and 25-minute movie. I'm not even kidding. That movie flies by.
It's too long, Carson.
Not long enough.
Yeah, how many seasons of TV have you said?
I am
How many episodes
stunned.
of anime
Wow,
have you binged
wow,
before?
wow.
How many?
Okay.
Got him. I am so fascinated that Return of the King is like 321, and
Right.
but the extended is 4 hours even. I was like, wow.
Yeah, you watch what Survivor finales like what 2
Hey,
hours with commercials.
Calling them out,
They're
all about.
freaking amazing.
Okay, but okay. In my
Oh,
review,
man.
in like a very shorter movie, like not even 90 minutes, I don't think. I saw Supernova.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did see that.
Colin Farrell and Stanley Tucci.
Colin Firth. I think I finally locked
Firth,
down on
not Farrell.
who's who. I finally
God
locked
damn it.
down who's who. Colin Firth, the Kingsman, classy dude, and Stanley Tucci. Yeah.
They look the same.
They don't.
Anyways,
It's just
continue.
they sound the same. Okay, so look, if you want to be depressed, here's the movie for you. It's, look, man, it's sad. Yeah, it's I mean, like the concept from the get-go is pretty crazy. So it's about a musician and an author. Um, they're a couple, gay couple, which has no force on the plot, which is nice, refreshing.
Yeah.
But it turns out one of them has started developing dementia. So they're kind of like the whole film is basically kind of like the two adapting and grappling with like how that's going to affect like their lives moving forward and where things go with that. It's sad. It's sad to see like how like they're like facing that mortality and stuff. But it is
Don't
like
they
a
go on a
great
road
watch.
trip, right?
Yeah, it's all during a road trip too.
Okay.
And it's not like something you super dwell on at the beginning. It seems like they're just having like normal conversations like they would back and forth, but then they'll like start to like seep in like these like little things that like they can't like get things like one guy, Stanley Tucci's character, can't like get some things done right. You know, he's like a lot more like slower moving sometimes. He tries to like remember like a simple name of something and he can't, and you know, it's something that just kind of like they pass it off as just like it's not really something you're dwelling on, but like when you're like in your own context as a viewer and you're just watching, you're just like, oh my god, this
Right.
they're right, like,
Yeah.
and it's worrisome. But the stellar performances from both of them. I think they just did a phenomenal, because this is like a very like small movie for sure, and
Yeah.
just in terms of like locations and like runtime, and but I feel like the script is like really tight in dealing with these different things, and I really enjoyed it a lot, as much as I could, not being depressed. But I think it really is like really good. It's something you check out. You should check out. It's like I said, it's not even 90 minutes. Highly recommend.
The Tooch is getting a lot of buzz for his role here. Do you think he could get Best Supporting Actor?
Probably not. It's nothing too like super like out there and like high caliber. So it's a very like
subtle
just like
performance.
yeah, subtle. It's just like here's our situation. Like this is just like how things are happening, and you know
Mhm.
you just kind of take that. Honestly, I think like the bigger like acting comes from Colin Firth of like being like the lover who has to like grapple with this and like try to adapt, who's like more than willing to, but it's also like can the person who's suffering through it also adapt with it. So it's really interesting. It was funny because like all my coworkers were just like, hey, what are you here to see? And I'm just like, Supernova. And they're like, what is that? And then I start like telling the dude who's ringing up my ticket, and he's like, oh, that sounds fucking sad. I was like, it does. You know, but it was funny. I was like playing a game with him at first because he was just like, what are you here to see? And I was like, take a guess. And he was like, IMAX. And I was like, no, I was here the other day for that. He's like, oh, that's right. He was like, Little Things, no. Marksman, no. Monster Hunter, like no. I was like, nah, Supernova. And I was like, oh, all right. And I was telling everybody that, and they were just like, all right, have fun. I was like, thanks, man. I was like, grab my concession and go.
whoever's like cleaning up the theaters after is just kind of like looking at you crying in the seat, and you're like,
no, it's funny.
as the credits roll.
You know, it's funny. Like one of my coworkers who was like, they were like gathering trash for the night because we were like basically closed. And as I was like getting up, I saw like I had some kernels on the floor, and I was like, I'm not an asshole. I'm picking all of them.
Yeah, I work here now.
Yeah. And I walked in. It's like, did you keep it clean in there? I was like, hell yeah. Like, all right. It's a fun environment to work in the theater, honestly. Well, okay, but no, there was another thing. It's like I was like really excited because like I was starving all day, so I got like a bunch of food, and I was like the only one in the theater who got my ticket, and I was like, hell yeah, enjoyment. And then I like look back like a couple minutes before showtime started, and I see there's one dude behind me, like right behind me.
Oh my god, that's
like,
terrifying.
I'm like, why? And it's a small auditorium too.
That's
only,
the
worst. Yeah, and then like I said, this is like this older gentleman. And like he sits behind me, and like we get into maybe I want to say like a third of the movie, and then he goes like out with his drink, and I'm like, maybe you need a refill. Never came back.
He walked out.
I guess, but also like it was a spontaneous buy. I mean, I don't know what he maybe thought he was getting into or something, but I mean, it's a really good film. It's getting good reviews.
Wow,
That's interesting.
This your favorite film of the year so far?
It's the one film I've logged, so yes.
Nice.
I think The Dig is my favorite film so far.
I need to watch Dig. I'm gonna watch that this weekend.
Letterboxd hasn't marked as 2020, but I'm going off of like the Weathering with You rules, where it just got to my theater this year. So
yeah, that's fair.
I keep trying to decide. Like, if I see Nomadland next week on Hulu, I'm just gonna put it in my 2020 movie. I'm not gonna count.
Well, it's like, remember how Chris Stuckman saw Split like 5 months in advance, and then it dropped in January.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I think I'll count Judas as 2021, but Nomadland will be.
Yeah, that's kind of. I guess the cutoff is like I saw Nomadland in like October or something.
Yeah, so many people saw Nomadland last year that I'm like, okay, I'll cut it.
Yeah.
I'll make it this year. Judas seems more so of a 2021 release.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I usually go off like what the original release date is, like typically, like
including festivals.
Yeah, like, well, if it's at like. Because usually for festivals, it'll be like, oh, it premiered in January at TIFF or whatever, and it comes out in like November or December, so it really doesn't matter. But sometimes it like cuts over, which is kind of weird. But
there's this movie. I'm trying to remember exactly what the title is, but it's this romance movie with Catherine Watterson.
Yeah,
and Vanessa Kirby.
The world between us.
I think like the world to come.
No, it's the world to come. Yeah,
World to come.
Yeah,
I knew it had.
And like they played that trailer before Supernova, and I was watching, and I was like, I need it.
I had it. Christopher Abbott, right, or something. Like
I had a Sundance ticket for it. I missed my screening. I'm so mad at myself.
I think it's playing at my theater now. Like
it's playing in mine too.
Go.
Heard it's okay, so I'm like, I'll pass.
Casey Affleck's also in it, which is just completely random, but
good actor.
Going to throw out on the Armas cutouts, but not really. I think he confirmed it wasn't him, but everybody was like,
"It's so him, though."
It's no white guy with the beard, like he's Casey Affleck.
I'm also just wondering, why does he have the cutout?
It's gonna be in his biography someday.
The press for Deep Water is gonna be the best thing of the year. I can't wait. Can that film please come out so I can see both of them sitting in chairs side by side?
Which it's hilarious because I just saw an interview 2 days ago with Ben Affleck and David Fincher of Variety's Directors on Directors, and Ben Affleck looked like he de-aged 5 years.
Wait, this recent?
Yeah.
Sober eyes.
Whoa, I didn't know this.
Yeah, go look up Variety's Directors on Directors.
I can listen to David Fincher talk for like 6 hours.
And they talk about Mank and everything, and just kind of the career since Gone Girl, and Ben Affleck really liked Mank.
I like what you did.
I love David Fincher. Like he's like the best. Like in terms of understanding film, I learned a lot from watching David Fincher interviews.
Yeah, but it was just funny because he looked 5 years younger compared. It just shows like if you catch you on your bad days. Oh man.
Well. We could have talked about Jared Leto's Joker's look, but
I don't care.
It's the Joker. It's not really nothing new.
It's the Joker. He's holding a card.
I'm sure when the trailer drops on Valentine's Day next show, I will break down even more.
I'll be excited again.
And then I'll like, but if you look at what he said in the report here with these photos,
the trailer's this Sunday, right, or Monday?
Yeah, it's on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Never heard of the holiday.
Evan.
Never heard of it.
I had the same energy just now. You know that meme video where like the dude's like blowing like a vape smoke to like make something cool, and then like his friend just blows it out and he like turns around, he's just like, Adam, and the rest is decimated.
Yes.
I'm just like, Evan.
Evan, like.
All right. Anyway, that's our show. 2 hours in. I haven't eaten today.
Now enjoy our special 8 minutes of credits brought to you by WandaVision.
Was that not basically our sidebar of video games?
Yeah,
what is up with those fucking 8 minutes? Stupid.
Talk about it.
It makes me so bad. I don't know why.
It pisses me off.
It's just like I see the bar of like not done, and like then when I exit out back to the WandaVision page where you can select the episode, that little slider that shows your completion of each episode isn't there. It looks like
Nope.
it's 3/4 complete
Yeah.
instead of like
Yeah.
all the way
I can
complete.
explain.
It messes with me.
You can find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9. Continuing to watch Attack on Titan on Sundays. It's the best show on TV right now. It's the best. Apparently, it's like the most streamed show so far of 2021 because it's just that good.
Yeah, it is.
Otherwise, I might be catching up on movies this weekend. I might not. I'm trying to get far on Ghost of Tsushima, so that's going to be my weekend. Oh, and I'm going to be continuing to read some High Republic stuff. I am terrible, and I still have not yet completed Test of Courage because I am awful.
Oh, finish it. It's so good.
It is good. I was reading it a little bit last night. I'm like, I got to finish. This book is only like 200-something pages. I am awful. I've just been so busy, but I'm going to finish a lot of High Republic books, comic books, and everything, so I'll be good for whenever we do Hyperspace Hype. But yep, I'm out.
Of course.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at the Film Carson. Surprisingly, I'm more caught up than Evan. I've read both issues of High Republic comic plus the newer issue of whatever the Jose Older comic that launched. I can't remember what the title is called. And I finished Test of Courage, and I'm 100 pages into Claudia Gray's Into the Dark. I know. I'm on my game. On my game.
Don't forget to do your homework, motherfucker.
Claudia Gray does not miss. It's been fantastic so far.
Man,
I'm watching some other movies this weekend. Maybe Lord of the Rings, and maybe Judas. I need to see Judas this weekend, and I need to see Dig because Evan and Carrie Mulligan need my support.
Yes, you do.
So yeah.
And you can catch me hyping up next week my Lord of the Rings conclusion, and maybe I can slip Judas in there somewhere in the Dolby. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe I'll catch it after work on one of my shifts, so I don't have to try to pry my eyes open while like Lord of the Rings. So, yeah, which again, love them. They're just long, and I am a tired individual. But yeah, continuing to react to WandaVision until we run out, and then off to Falcon Winter Soldier and so forth. Disney Plus, man. Content. Copyright. No, I actually found that really out. So with that being said, I had a story. Like today, my Wi-Fi knocked out when I had to upload WandaVision. And I was just like, I want to go to bed. It's like, because it was like 6 to almost 7 a.m. So what I had to do is I had to upload the video onto I had to like transfer it to my phone and then upload from my phone data to YouTube, which worked out, I guess. It worked out. Unlimited data, T-Mobile. So, all right. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed our show, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe already. That being said, we now have chaotic outros and intros. May the force be with you always.